Why are people who are emotionally intelligent called cold? Because they managed to not deliver the gold in the interpretation. They left it revealed. Everyone told me you brainwash others. I said what brainwashing would be. If you managed to reframe all the problems. You have that. Yes, it was brainwashing, but it was with your permission then. I want to know, do you want to wash that off, or you can't imagine if you could wash your brain of everything you've ever done wrong, then you say you're going to erase the memory. But the effect of that, the effect that it produces in the present, if I didn't believe that it works, I wouldn't have built it, and it wouldn't have worked, and I would never be teaching it works. You can get rid of your traumas, your blockages, your insecurities, and everything else, but what you have to understand, if you know what toxin means, what it impacts, what do you have to do to get it out? You will say, I will treat one by one. So if you want to do it, you will understand that this will start a new process in your head called managing emotions, and then you will start talking like this. I need to manage my emotions. There's no way to suggest that make emotions if you don't know how different from emotion and feeling. The feeling comes before the emotion, so you write the word feeling there, put that little sign from mathematics like this. The feeling is the greatest emotion. This here is the entrance, this here is an output, one input, the other is an output. So I'm going to speak a little English here, in and out. What is feeling? Feeling is the interpretation of the real world. What is emotion is what I did with that feeling. So what is the feeling? The feeling is an entry. It's in English here, look, but you can use it for interpretation. You're going to do the following. Look, you're going to make a little ball, and then you're going to make another little ball. Let's make only 4 here. Look, 4 little balls. You're going to call this one world real. Real world. The real world doesn't change with the passing of a century, with the passing of a millennium, with the passing of a day, or with the passing of an hour. This is the real world. Welcome to it. What is the real world? In the world real, everything is natural. In the real world, everything is natural. Everything that is physical, so you write down physical, is natural. Everything that is energetic comes out of the natural. How does this call about personal? I can't see, sometimes I can't explain it. Very interesting. So everything that sometimes the person is not within the possibility. She says it was supernatural many times. It is not supernatural, it is natural, but you have no explanation. But what escapes the physical question is metaphysical. So he is talking about energy. Sometimes he can't see or interpret. Okay, the real world are natural things. I'll tell you, the only things that exist is water, that is river, right, earth, tree, animal, everything that was created in Genesis chapter 1. This is the real world. What does the real world mean? And depending on any culture, it's the same in the world. I'll explain. If you have a very fat cow in your culture, what does a very fat cow mean to you? You're going to kill her, go, and if you want to remove the meat issue now. Otherwise you're going to do what? You're going to make her reproduce. You're going to make her give milk. You're going to make her give another calf. You're going to do a reproduction process. Right or wrong depends of your culture, but the natural cow, yes or no, in India is different. People look at the cow and don't touch the cow. The cow is a type of God. You who are in another culture, you speak, but I don't understand. Just that you look at the standard Adam. I also didn't even look at the cow to eat. It didn't have that there before the fall. It never existed. The cow continues to be in a vacuum. The cow for Adam was a friend there. You know, it's an animal. The cow was an animal for us. The cow is an instrument of making money from breeding and eating. Pakana in India is another thing. In India, don't touch it, let me do what I want. Because in my head I build something else. That means that they interpreted it in a way. I'm not saying it's wrong, I'm just saying it's not natural. That's what I'm saying. Everything you want to create with a natural process, you can call it what you want. You can say that the cow, your daughter, I don't know if you know, but the cow that is rejected when it's a calf, you can bottle feed her. She's going to drink and she's going to stay inside your house. Walking. Even the farm that I bought, I found it very boring because I bought it closed. There was a cow there that would go inside the house and drink from a bottle. Then the other day I went back. Where's the cow? I didn't sell it, but it was mine. That is to say, that cow that is from the pasture, it stayed indoors just like a dog. The cow is not going to change, but you human being like to interpret the real world in any other way. Do you want to make a business turn into a baby? Do you want make the cow turn to God? You want to make the cow give you money? The cow is still a cow. That means the nature of things. Do you understand? Or not just that if I have inserted it in a place where people interpret it anyway. This is the feeling that she will have it if I arrive in India and say let's kill that cow there so we can eat barbecue. What do you think is a feeling people have? You who are very silly, you have to know that the more silly a person is, the more alone he is. Service remembers that this is the relationship. She does not understand what is natural. So for example, you are a fervent believer. The person says like this, I am an atheist. You already get angry. In the natural world you have to know that there are no atheists, that is systems of belief. Then be at peace. Stop bothering. The person is just angry with my father. No, you have a blockage. Your father did the best that boys and girls, when you understood the real world, you will see it is not possible. That I was so silly for so many years, and that's why I didn't prosper. I told you the story of the cow. So everything that is natural, people, tree, animals, rivers, everything Minero studies is natural. It doesn't change now. The belief relationship is different. So what happens? The feeling is the way that I interpret reality. Since I was little, you learn it at school. Don't talk about my mother, otherwise I'll kill you. Like that. It's not at home. I practice the following he said about your mother you're going to talk. Like that, oh, since you're a man you're going to call my mother and you're going to talk to. I want to see if you're a man what's going to happen to the child talking about it, because nobody taught us this. Let the guy talk like that your mother, unless what you bitch out says you to my mother, call you and tell her. Right, the child will talk, man. This is the real world. But there he sees that you're nervous because you learned, look, don't let me talk about your mother. Then you enter a game of interpreting the real world differently, and then your life is over. If someone touches your face, slaps you, what do? You can talk about good. Forget the verse there. Each person will have a reaction, you know. It means that the way you interpreted it, if you're a guy who is weaker, very weak girl can come a smaller person much more fragile than you to hit you, and you do nothing because you think I am weak. If you're a noble person and realize that you are dealing with a fool, you will take the slap and speak for yourself. Less ends here, but if you're a rabid dog you'll take it disproportionately. Slap, maybe you even kill, because you always listen to the Lord in the face. Don't touch it, you know. You interpret reality in a completely wrong way, in an artificial way. How many here are people who, oh, you raise your hand, you knew that you interpreted this is wrong, you know where it started when you lent. The person came and said like, wow, is my only way out. You fell for it, you interpreted it wrong. Do you really want to grow up? Yes or no? Then say so. From today I'm going to align my feelings with the real world. There has to be a sieve. It's the same. Look, it's like you're seeing the same thing. What is our great thing in life is to reach a degree of maturity that we only see what's real, what's artificial. We say take a step back and let's watch. Let's still use the garbage that is holistic. From Greek means aerial view. Look from above. When you're involved in the business, you sentimentalist, you can't living on the outside. You will always be deceived. So where did this person start? Bursting her name, bursting her mother's name, bursting the name of the friend of the other, and call. You know why? Because there's always a sucker available. Only that your feeling towards the reality is always being a fool. But say it, but he's my friend. If he were your friend, he wasn't asking you. Who has a friend who needs money all the time? Raise your hand. Buy the book. Then look at the million codes. Then you say why? Because there's homework there, and then you're going to give him the book. He's going to talk like that. I'm going to call you every day to see how the homework is going. Will he ever do it again? Lend money. Buy Father Marcello's book, put it in person's hand and call them every day. I'm your friend. I gave you the book. I want to see the real task. Do you think that out of 10 people who live borrowing money, how many will do the tasks? 0. Do you know why? Because they interpret the world in another way. They prefer to lean on suckers. Like you were tough, weren't you? Now everyone has a feeling. When I said that I want to hear the feelings, I called you a sucker. Now you who lend money and took the pipe in world statistics, 90% of the money you lend to a friend, you know that, and you're even going to lend your sucker squared. I'm warning you, that's the hand you need. As long as there's grass in the world, there'll be no shortage of work. If you do away with all the hoes, just build with another one thing but work. He needs to have something like thorn, grass and thistle. There will always be work on land. In places she doesn't have a bridge, make a raft. Earns money crossing others always while there is someone wanting to cross to another place. Grass going up, just eating guard rain. You are going to sell a tent. You have to know that the natural world will always need it. So there will never be a lack of opportunity on earth, but the opportunity to catch a sucker who cannot understand the real world is serious. I have not loaned it out for over 10 years. Money for anyone. Maybe I'm one of the most donating people in Brazil, but only if I play here. And to play here, there's no human conviction that gets any if it doesn't come from God. I don't make a person. It's enough because I don't know what beauty and then what. That's the task you want to do. I did. NT need the money. No, you need to prosper your head and stop scamming others. I'm a little frank with people when they come with these conversations like that. Man, you know why? Fooling my feelings too much already. Fooling me too much. That's what I've done. I've spent these last few years improving and making feelings come into the same tune as the real world. Why does a person need money? She needs money because she's not a generator. There are no seeds. She doesn't like to plant. She doesn't like to water. She doesn't like to take care of the soil. She doesn't like to harvest. And when she harvests, she eats everything like a bird. You know why? You won't see it pass implanting, because the bird takes what the birds others planted. There are people who want to be just a bird. They just want to eat other people's trains. When you get rid of it and you find out in each of the toxins, you adjust it to the real way. You say it's not possible that life is that good, that much. No, it was to lend. You lent. Who lend money? Right there. Raise your hand. Stay your hand here next. You take care with that mother. Same hand raised. Forgive that person. Now forget that thing. No or no. This is the real world. You will not receive it. There, let's talk. Sit down here with me. Why is it good for you to forgive now, whether you want to know or not? Why it's consuming you. You see the person in stories having a beer on the beach with your money. You know what happens. You can't understand the real world. You stay. I'm invaded by addiction inside you, loaded, and you say to travel. You have it. You know, bum. The one he's spending is not yours. You have to respect it. It was another idiot who gave yours away. He already spent it a long time ago. You can see that you don't understand the business of it's the truth. You didn't lend the money a year ago. Do you think the money would be paying off in his hands? To this day, he's not an investor. No, son, the money from a year ago was spent that week. That's another sucker. You have to stay, you have to understand the reality who will forgive. To stop with this, __. To stop being stupid and buy a diploma with this. Debt then who will forgive you don't want to forgive you are not understanding. What I'm saying, no one will forgive who. What will happen when you forgive? You will buy a frame and print an idiot diploma. First, it wasn't for lending. Second, it wasn't for having the debt, it was for you to have helped your friend. But it's with education, something that the father didn't know. One did only the education, so it's no longer useful to you. It's useful, then you're going to hang your diploma in your living room. Don't lend it money until you have a factor or until you're a banker. Just for these two guys you're going to lend money. Write this down. I'm only going to lend money when I'm a factory, or when I'm a banker. The rest there's no way, we won't work with that. We'll even factor, not to mention stupid, get ugly, right? Just like people. They're fake, they emulate, simulate, and do the devil in fours. You're stupid, you're going to always be the first CD I do. And give in after you have a feeling needs to release, it needs to transform emotion. This emotion is the way the world sees it. Why are people who are emotionally intelligent called cold? Does anyone know why? Whether you know it or not, because they manage to interpret it. Not to give away the gold, the emotion of these people who are emotionally intelligent are not emeralds. The flower of the skin are emeralds 15 meters deep. They are precious, they are hidden, they did not leave it revealed. So when you start to be very intelligent emotionally, deal with these toxins that I'm going to talk about here. A miracle will happen in your life. You won't stay like this all the time. I am embarrassed on your face. The moon changes color. You start to channel this and don't show it if you want. If you want, you can demonstrate it. So after the feeling came in, it comes here. The real world, the sentimental world. I ask for the impact of a gunshot. Did you feel it? It will be exposed, then it will come either an action or an omission. What will happen if you thought omitting? It will give a result. If you act actively, it will give a result. The result has to match the real world. Why do you ask a PT member like that? But you believe in Lula. But the guys are normal in their minds. They don't believe in anything you're saying. They interpret the world in a certain way. They have emotions like you. Everything is honest. The craziest thing I've ever seen. They act as if that were salvation. You know why? Because in the real world Bolsonaro became a devil in his head, and in our world Lula is a devil. You want to know, in the real world the two are not devils. One is too honest and the other is a thief. This is the real world. This is the real world. Only the thief has something better than the honest one. You want to know what is the thief? Is a politician. The thief from con talk to everyone. The honest one doesn't have the patience to talk to a bum. You know what happens. Honest people can't handle being a politician despite being a politician for 30 years. If you get angry with someone, you don't understand the real world, because the person playing the role of irritant is someone shorter than you. But when that person you go under her, it's a game. The person irritated you. You got under her. She grew up in the game. It's like chess. She advanced into your field. Then you say, please explain to me what it is. Do not mind the words nor with the offenses. Understand what is the intention behind the person. Her soul is just screaming and needing help. But since you don't know how to see the real world, you were offended by the nonsense she said at the wedding. If you understand that, you stay married 200 years and live only 120. I say no, I already understand. It's just drawing attention to the woman when she's insecure. What she doesn't do. A man who wants to prove his masculinity, what he doesn't do is idiotic. People, we are people disconnected from reality. Then we are going to deal with the little things you want to treat or not. Okay, who didn't do this? I recommend you do the real world. This world of feelings is the virtual world, is the world of belief. Deep emotion is a world of energy being discharged back. It's as if you were a network termination point and the energy hits you and goes to another place, as if the sun reflects. If you go to another place, I'll explain it better. I'll explain it in a very simple way. If you go, a mirror is smooth to translate into reality. The mirror hits you, the light continues to propagate, and this light propagates with heat. There are even buildings in the world where the sun melts car parts on the street, burns us. You know that, right? That the mirror is in a perfect inclination and it's clean, so the energy is also transferred along with the heat. Now let's take the same mirror. Mirror is top, send clay on it, will reflect the sun, will only absorb the heat, which means this is wrong feelings, which is a wrong feeling inside your intimate is. Your feeling is not clean and equalized with reality. Then it breaks the cycle. Then you suffer. You know why? Because instead of reflecting the heat will stay in you.